I've always felt that you need to be involved in your community. And we've done that, whether it was on HOA boards or community nonprofit organizations or whatever the need in the community or the opportunity. I've always felt that you need to put into your community to help make it the best it can be. And, if you don't put anything into it, you may not get very much out of it. So that's always been our approach, both my wife, Diana, and I, and it served us well. And by the way, I may be one of the leaders of the organization, but it's a team effort. There's a lot of different owners, every bit as committed as I am, that are actively involved in this, and we're really working together as a team. There are a lot of ballot measures. They're all rolled up into one question, and that in fact is one of the problems, because we have a lot of important issues, but just one ballot measure, yes or no. So I think it's confused a lot of people. But basically, to answer your question, the issues are a proposed merger between the HOA and the country club. Secondly, a capital expenditure project of up to $30 million. Unfortunately, one of our concerns is that very little, if any, of that $30 million substantial sum has been defined in any way. So it's kind of a blank check. Third, there's revisions to our governing documents, both our CC&Rs and our bylaws, very substantial changes that will really impact everybody. And we're very concerned about how those impacts will be. In most cases, that they are negative. There's also a bank loan, another item that we're concerned about, up to 24 million, I believe. And in general, we're concerned about the bank loan and the impact that will have on our property values. I may have left something out, but those are the main issues, and some of our concerns as well. Those are our governing documents, and they set forth what the board can do and what powers they have and what powers are reserved for owners. So they're really like our Constitution, if you will. And the proposed revised governing documents transfer more power to the board and reduce the owners, the powers of owners. And that's dangerous, and that concerns us. And especially when you're talking about a major merger, a major set of capital expenditures, major borrowing. These are things that owners need to be more engaged in, and it shouldn't just be in the hands of the board. So those are our concerns. All of the changes, by the way, have been to the benefit of the board and the golf members, and none of them have been compared to that, to the benefit of the non-golf members. And we love golfers like the rest of them, but we are concerned that there needs to be fairness and balance among all 510 owners, rather than a tilt that favors just one segment of our community, golfers or otherwise. The way the governing documents have been proposed is that it takes maintenance of the golf course as a premier golf amenity and sets that as the highest priority for the community. And it cannot be changed without the approval of 342 out of 510 owners, almost an impossible barrier. So it locks in that we will have a premier golf amenity forever, unless voted otherwise by 342 owners. And in the meantime, it could mean that maintenance of roads and pools and a bunch of other things, roofs, all of which the HOA is responsible for, that those could be deferred. And we've had problems with, in this community, unfortunately, with those kinds of things being deferred, the pools being the best example, or the worst example, if you will. And if those items are deferred because they've got to devote money to the golf course, then clearly that's not good. It's a tilt in one direction. It's an unnecessary tilt. All these things are important. We need to be able to do all these things, but there shouldn't be a special exception for the golf course any more than it would be for the pickleball players or the tennis players or the people who, for whatever reason, can't enjoy any of those things because of their age or health condition. There's a lot of those people in this community, and we need to be aware of that. And some of those people will never, ever be able to use any of these amenities, but they're being required to pay for them. And the solution isn't for them to move away. The solution is to find something that works for all 510 owners. You're not going to have total unanimity, but we can do better than what is proposed so far. As a footnote on the governing documents that we were talking about, it became evident during the town hall meeting last Sunday that there were changes in the governing documents done by the board members that they didn't realize were in there. One example is owners are concerned about the elimination of term limits, which we all think is important to our community. And one of the board members said, oh no, they're in there. We haven't changed that. Well, we've read the documents and that change is in there, and they should read the documents as well. And that's just one example. There's other examples having to do with the number of board members. And so again, governing documents are important. They're like our Constitution. We need to get them right. And there's no reason why they can't be done right. What they're afraid of is if somebody like Tom Connor gets on the board, they want to be able to just vote the guy off. And I'm not sure whether that's legal or not. I don't think it's good practice. If the owners elect someone, unless that person violates, HOA governing documents or applicable law, they should remain on the board. If they show up for the meetings and if they pull their weight and do the job that's expected of them, and no one should be voted off the board by the board simply because they don't like that person's point of view. No one can predict the future. And there are people who say it will improve our property values. We happen to think that it will be the opposite, that it will hurt property values. The big bank loan, the high dues, which I've already mentioned, there's going to be a 2 or 3 year period of a lot of construction going on. And there's a lot of unknowns. What are we getting? What will the building look like? What will the fitness center? We don't even know where the fitness center that they're going to do, where it's going to be located. Is it going to be at the club or somewhere else? So all of that, the unknowns, the risk, the costs, I think will be, and the experts I've talked to, real estate agents, attorneys, financial people, a lot of people, every one of them has said that they believe, at least in the short run, the first 5 to 8 years, it will be negative to our property values. It may end up, if everything turns out rosy and is done great, and we hope it would be, that it would have a longer term beneficial impact on our property values. But there's a way to do this so that it's a positive impact both in the short term, the intermediate, and even the long term. And that's the solution that we should be looking for, and that this proposal does not adequately capture. One additional item that's covered in the ballot measure is a dues increase of $300 a month for 20 years. That's related to the bank loan. That is not an insignificant amount of money when it's viewed over the course of 20 years. The term of the loan translates to about $72,000. It's a lot of money in and of itself, and it also, in our view, will have a serious impact on property values. Our HOA fees are already high. They're going higher if this proposal is passed. They're the highest HOA fees that I have found in our community. And that's a problem. It's a problem for our owners, and it's a problem for prospective buyers. And we need to be careful. We need to try and fix our problems and make our improvements. But like everybody, we need to do it on a budget, and we need to be careful how we spend the money. We have an excellent website that covers a lot of information. There's our mailings are on there. Our initial mailing was a 4-page item that includes the alternative approach that I described. It includes our concerns about the the proposals. There's a legal page. We've got a lot of legal concerns, a financial page that talks about why we think the proposals would be negative for property values. So we would be delighted for everyone to go to our website, take the time, look at it, maybe a glass of wine with it as you do. It's a lot of information. Then if you have any questions, email us, call us, track us down on the street. We'd be happy to discuss it and to answer any questions you may have. We are as transparent as we can be. We want to be an open book, and we want to be helpful in this whole process. One request I would make of owners, as a part of doing your due diligence and research, if you hear something about our position or about any of the individuals involved in this effort on our part that is negative, don't listen. Listen to them, but judge for yourself. Pick up the phone, call me, call one of our, we've got 40 some owners listed on our website who are supporting this effort. There's many, many more who did not wish to have their names listed, but call us and let us explain, hear for yourself, and judge for yourself. It's easy to throw dirt at someone, and some dirt is being thrown around in this campaign. We're taking the high road. We're not throwing dirt. Everything that we have written, put on our website, we believe is factual and truthful, and we're going to take that high road. Unfortunately, not everyone's doing that, and so if you hear some dirt, please check it out. I'll answer every question, every phone call that I get. Thank you. I think it's the American way. We get to vote, and we need to vote, and we need to do our homework and know what we're voting about and understand the issues. There's plenty of information out there. This is important. Clearly, it's important to every one of the 510 owners. So I encourage them to do the research, look at the documents, talk to people, but they need to vote. Don't waste your vote by not voting. Every vote counts. And obviously, we would encourage everyone after they've done their due diligence to please consider voting no. There is a better way that we can handle this that will work out better for, we believe, every owner and for our community. We have an excellent website that covers a lot of information. There's our mailings are on there. Our initial mailing was a 4-page item that includes the alternative approach that I described. It includes our concerns about the proposals. There's a legal page. We've got a lot of legal concerns, a financial page that talks about why we think the proposals would be negative for property values. So we would be delighted for everyone to go to our website, take the time, look at it, maybe a glass of wine with it as you do. It's a lot of information. Then if you have any questions, email us, call us, track us down on the street. We'd be happy to discuss it and to answer any questions you may have. We are as transparent as we can be. We want to be an open book, and we want to be helpful in this whole process.